ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Welcome, dear devotees. We are reading Canto 2 of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter number 9, Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. And today's discussion, we are starting text number 31. So we are in the situation, we are in these pastimes where Lord Brahmaji meditated on the lotus flower for 1000 celestial years. The Lord becomes pleased by his non-deceptive bhakti, non-deceptive penances, and then Lord gives the darshan to Brahmaji of the Vaikuntha planets. He also saw the inhabitants of Vaikuntha planets. After that, Brahmaji had the darshan of the Lord himself sitting on the throne, surrounded by all the energies. Then Lord smiles at him, welcomes and greets him by shaking his hands. Then Lord is telling to Brahmaji, ask a boon, ask, मांगो आपको जो चाहिए वो मांगो. And then Brahmaji is saying, you are in the heart of everyone. You know what is my desire. But still, Brahmaji is asking few questions. Um, what are your? How do you take mundane? Oh Lord, you have a spiritual form. How do you take material form? And oh Lord, what are your energies? What are the activities you do through these energies? So all these questions Brahmaji asked, which is very much similar to Parikshit Maharaj asked the question to Sukdev Goswami. That's why Sukdev Goswami is narrating all these things to give the answer by citing the Lord's version. One or two answers Sukdev Goswami said in the beginning of the chapter. But after that, all the answers he wants to give on directly what Lord spoken to Brahmaji. So right now, where we are at text number 31 is the discussion happening between Lord and Brahma directly. All right, text number 31, let's start.
Hare Krishna everyone. Srimad Bhagavatam 2.9.31. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Jnanam Paramaguham Me Yad Vijnana Samamvitam Sarahasyam Tad Angam Cha Grahana Gaditam Maya. Translation: The personality of Godhead said, knowledge about me as described in the scriptures is very confidential and it has to be realized in conjunction with devotional service. The necessary paraphernalia for that process is being explained by me. You may take it up carefully. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Amazing verse. Very, very important. The personality of Godhead said. So Lord is speaking here. Knowledge about me as described in scriptures is very confidential. See, what is the connection? Previous verse, Brahmaji said that, oh Lord, you have shaken hands with me, but let me do the service. Let me do your seva, the task of taking a creation without having any pride, without what was the word used? Perturbation, because without any deviation. Perturbation, it is used. That means, I should not deviate from my seva, from my service of this task of doing the creation. And second thing he is asking is, please let me do the service without any pride. So now, with the context of that, text number 31, 30 में ब्रह्मा जी ने बोला, 31 Krishna is speaking that knowledge about me as described in scriptures is very confidential, but it can be realized in conjunction with devotional service. आपको जानना है मेरे बारे में, लेकिन that is very guhyam, very confidential, but you can know by devotional service. What verse in Bhagavad Gita says the knowledge about Lord is very confidential? कौन सा 9th chapter? Which verse is
Rajvidya
that?
Rajguhyam Pavitramidam
The first line of the translation or the sloka here is the knowledge about Lord is very confidential. Rajvidya Rajguhyam Pavitram Vidam Uttamam Pratyaksavagamam Dharmyam So Sukham Kartum Avyam. So the knowledge about Lord is very confidential. Second line of the translation, it says, but one can realize the knowledge only by devotional service. One can know about the Lord only by devotional service. What verse in Bhagavad Gita says one can know the Lord only by devotional service?
Bhaktya Mam Abhijanati Yavan
भक्त्या
Yatra.
मामपि जानाति यावन् यच्चास्मि तत्त्वतः ततो मां तत्त्वतो ज्ञात्वा. What is the last line?
Vishate Tadanantaram.
विशदे तत् अनंतरम. Yeah. So bhaktya mam api janati. One can janati means janna. One can know me as I am. Bhaktya mam, only by devotional service. There is no other way. So you can see the relation between the slokas of Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita directly. Now, here, why Krishna is speaking this? Because Brahmaji is asking to know more about the Lord, his energies, his activities, and his forms. And one can know all these things. The Lord is saying only by devotional service. Why it is said knowledge about Lord is confidential? We see Krishna book is printed, published, Bhagavad Gita printed, published everywhere. There are crores and crores of Bhagavad Gita is published. Krishna book, Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, all the videos about Krishna, Leela, pastimes available on YouTube videos, printed, published books everywhere being distributed, available everywhere. Then why it is said that one can know this is a secret, this is most confidential? Who can say why it is secret? If it's available everywhere, सबको पता है.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, because Krishna says, na, only devotional service. If you do devotional service, then only you can get it. But the problem is people don't do devotional service. If they don't do it and they just want to know the knowledge, it will be not possible. So when the Krishna mercy is there, then you do the devotional service, then only you can get it.
Very good. So Prabhupada also explains that in the purport, that one can get the knowledge by reading books or by watching the videos about Krishna, but one will not understand. Understand, realize knowledge, Gnan or Vigyan, there is a difference. One can get the knowledge, but they will not be able to understand or accept it completely. That will only happen when one engages in devotional service. Otherwise, they will not be able to understand, even though everything is available. Bhagavatam is available, Bhagavad Gita is available, the kathas on YouTube, audio, video, recording is available, but one will not understand if a person is not engaged in devotional service. That will only remain as a gyan or a theoretical knowledge without proper understanding. Prabhupada explains in the purport that Krishna also told the knowledge to Arjun. Why? And Arjun understand just because Arjun was a devotee. See, the knowledge was the same spoken Gita from Krishna to Arjuna as well as Sanjaya was speaking to Dhritarashtra. We see right from the first verse of Bhagavad Gita that Sanjaya is speaking to Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra also heard this knowledge, same Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna also heard the knowledge, same Bhagavad Gita. But Arjuna's life was transformed. He became victorious. He became successful. Tatra Shri Vijayor Bhuti. But Dhritarashtra, not. Why is that? The difference is the mood, devotional service. And the devotional service means the mood of devotion towards Lord Sri Krishna. By that devotional mood, one would be able to understand the message of Bhagavad Gita and understand the Lord. Prabhupada writes in the Prabhupada quotes many verses in the purport here. Manushya nam sahasreshu kashit yatati siddhaye. Out of many thousands among men, only one will try to endeavor for perfection. And many people would try to understand, but only few will understand. Out of that few, only one will hardly understand once in the truth. Why? Because only the person who has the devotion mood, who is doing the devotional service, and who is a devotee of the Lord, they can only understand. Otherwise, it's very Manushanam Shastresu Kachit Yadati Siddhaya. Otherwise, they will not understand. And if you see the Sanskrit third line, Sarahasyam, the word is used, and Prabhupada explains so many things about that word Sarahasyam. Sarahasyam, if you see English translation, it's called, Prabhupada has translated as devotional service. Rahasya, Sarahasya means devotional service. That means the person who wants to understand the secret mysteries of, what is Prabhupada using the word? Mysteries of the Lord, mysteries of Bhagavad Gita. Rahasya means mystery. And one who wants to understand mystery of the Lord, that means they have to perform devotional service. Otherwise, there is no other chance. And how to perform devotional service? Last paragraph of this purport, Prabhupada has dedicated what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke in Chaitanya Charitamrita about how to do the devotional service. हमको सबको पता है सेवा करनी चाहिए, भगवान की सेवा करनी चाहिए, लेकिन कैसे भाव से करनी चाहिए, कैसे मूड से करनी चाहिए, कहाँ करनी चाहिए, किसके साथ करनी चाहिए, who, how, when, with whom, all these things, it is mentioned by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and Prabhupada is quoting in this verse. In Madhya Lila, chapter number 22, verse number 28 and 29. We discussed this in our Bhakti Vriksha also. Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Mathura Va Shri Murti Ra Swadhyaye Seva. Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan Bhagavat Shravan Mathura Va Shri Murti Seva. So 5 things. This devotional service is the secret of everything. Yes, it will achieve the topmost, highest perfection, but it must be done in these 5 different, along with these 5 different angas. Sadhu Sangha, it must be done in the association of devotees. Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan. Devotional service must be accompanied by the chanting of the holy name and the Kirtan. Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan. Bhagavad Shravan. It must be accompanied with the study of the scriptures. Bhagavad Shravan. Hearing Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan. Bhagavad Shravan. Mathura Vas. Mathura Vas means living in the holy dham. Mathura Vas. Living in the dham. And Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan Bhagavad Shravan Mathura Vas Shri Murti, engaging in the service of the deities, Archa Vigra, Shri Murti Seva. And what is the name? Sakala sadhana sreshta, pancha anga, sakala sadhana sreshta. One will achieve the highest perfection. Panchanga. When one observes the devotional service with these 5 things, one will achieve the highest perfection. Krishna prema janmaya, panchera alpa sanga. Krishna prema janmaya. The love of Krishna will be janma, will appear. Krishna prema jana panchera alpasanga. These 5 things, alpasanga, even if a slight performance, alpasanga, even if a slight performance of these 5 will give birth to the love of Krishna. And that's how devotional service. And that's why I think Krishna, Brahmaji wanted to know more about Krishna. He asked, and then Krishna is saying by devotional service. And what more the devotional service should be done is explained by Srila Prabhupada. If you see the Vihanga Avlokan, bird's eye view of this explanation of the purport, it's such an amazing. So let's try to understand. I don't want to rush, just in the interest of time, but I want to understand about these 5 points, what Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport. Skipping Prabhupada purport is just not a good idea for our Bhagavatam study. So devotional service must be done because to know about Lord is Raj Guhyam, Raj Vidya, confidential knowledge, and how that will be done is only by the mood of devotion in the heart. So that's why the devotional service, Sahrahasyam, devotional service is required. And then the mood we have to do is in the 5. So now how do we understand that slight performance of this Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavad Shravan, Mathura Va, Shri Murtira, how we can do? Let's try to do one by one. First of all, Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees. In olden days, it was possible for the people to stay in the ashram, live in the temple, and do all the devotional service. Guru ke ashram mein Guru ki seva karenge, ya fir yahan pe bhi. Even 50 years back when Prabhupada was here, most of the congregation devotees were living in the temple. If you are not in the temple, some people believe that you are in Maya if you are outside. So, but now the situation, the congregation, the movement has grown so much. So the situation is different. How do we apply practically this Sadhu Sangha? How can we do? That is exactly what we are doing. We can join online. If we are not in association in personally, but we can joining it online. When we are hearing the lecture on YouTube, when we are reading books by Vaishnava Acharyas, by Prabhupada books or his disciples, are so many bona fide books are available. So when we are reading, when we are hearing the audio, when we are seeing the lectures on the YouTube, when we are joining by the Zoom, that means we are doing Sadhu Sangha. Our devotional service is accompanied by this Sadhu Sangha. So we have to give a check. Are we reading books? Are we hearing lectures? Are we watching the videos of the Krishna Katha available? Are we joining on or going to Bhakti Vriksha once in a week? So that is all Sadhu Sangha. Second is Nam Kirtan. Before it was Satata Kirtayantam, Haridas Thakur, 20 hours, 22 hours chanting, Satata Kirtayantam. But for us, Sadhu Sangha is very simple, doing it online with the help of technology. Nam Kirtan, Prabhupada has made it very easy, 16 rounds. And whenever possible, we participate in kirtan. Sometimes people invite us on the home program. हमारे घर पे आके कीर्तन करो. So we participate in kirtan. In Bhakti Vriksha, we do kirtan. And sometimes at home also we will do arti and everything. The sadhu sangha and 16 rounds. Sadhu sangha and naam kirtan. So it has made it very simplified for us, for our benefit. Sadhu sangha, naam kirtan, Bhagavad Shravan. Again, Bhagavad Shravan. Olden days people used to go in the ashrams and learn the scriptures. Now we are very easy. We can learn online, we can read, they are printed and published. Before this, the Shastras were only spoken and heard. But now the printing is easily available. We can read. So that will ensure a panchara alpasanga, little bit slight performance can also give the love of God. It is said here. So sadhu sanga, naam kirtan, bhagavat shravan, mathura vas, living in the धाम. How do we understand living in the धाम? क्या हम सब कुछ छोड़ के जा सकते हैं मथुरा में रहने के लिए? Are we able to leave everything and go? But here it is said, this is at most important. A panchera anga. These 5 limbs are necessary to develop the mood of devotion, to do devotional service, and then only we can understand the love of Godhead. So how can we understand? So the simplified version, what is recommended right now is Sadhu Sangha, Nam Kirtan, Bhagavad from Mathura Vas. Yeah. Mathura Vas means living in the Dham is at least a devotee should live in the vicinity of the Dham. For example, Dham to Mathura mein hai, Vrindavan mein, but Prabhupada has established the temples, centers, Bhakti Vriksha centers, preaching centers all around the world. So one must at least live, if one can live in the Dham, अगर कोई मंदिर में नहीं रह सकता, at least in the vicinity. Vicinity means at least they can be able to visit the dham once in a week, do the darshan, or every 15 days, depending on, every once in a month, depending on how much distance you are, you are able to visit the dham, you are able to have the darshan, experience the devotee association, kirtan, prasadam, everything is happening. The activities in the temple centered by them, then it becomes a Mathura Vas. Many people, devotees, they make their temple as a home, and then all the activities at home is centered around the deities. So that is also a Mathura Vas. So Mathura Vas means we don't have to go, and if we don't go, that doesn't mean that we don't have any chance, but we have to be somewhere in the vicinity. जब temple होगा nearby, we can visit. घर पे भी हमारा पूरा, have deities or have nice altar set up with the photos of the local deities, Radha Vallabha, Gaur Nitai, Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, and we have our activities or आरती, morning and evening program. जो भी भोग बनता है वो सब उनको offer होता है. So all these things, that means it is Mathura Vas. And the last one is Sri Murti Seva. Sri Murti Seva means whatever services we do in the temple, that is for the pleasure of the deities. अभी आप प्रसाद सर्विंग भी करते हो, अभी आप बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन करते हो, भक्ति वृक्षा में कुछ कुकिंग का हेल्प कर दिया, क्लीनिंग का हेल्प कर दिया, वॉट एवर इट इज, दैट इज ऑल श्रीमूर्ति सेवा. बिकॉज फॉर एग्जाम्पल इन मेलबर्न, all the expansions, the Bhakti Vriksha centers all around Victoria or all around Australia, they are centered towards the pleasure of that Lordship. Sri Murti Seva, जो भगवान के जो विग्रह है, राधा वल्लभा है, and all these services happening for their pleasure. So when we are participating on that, that means we are doing Sri Murti Seva. ए पांचेरा anga है ना, अल्प sangha, little bit of slight performance of this, then give the ultimate. Sorry, I'm just watching the time. I'll give you one story, one example before quick story of this explanation. See, Alpa Sangha, this 5 limbs, even if a person does very little, it can achieve the highest. Abhi, translation, if you focus, the Lord says, if you do devotional service, you can understand about me fully. The highest, topmost result to understand about the Lord, kitna bada hai. And that can be achieved by such a simple thing, which is performing of devotional service, slight performance of devotional service. Prabhupada connects in the purport. For example, dear devotees, अगर कोई बहुत बड़ा mansion है, $2 million का mansion है, very big, but that house is being offered for only $2,000. What will happen? People will not. Imagine, bhakti mein, knowing Krishna fully, that is like a topmost, something very high, but the price for that is just do devotional service, slight performance of devotional service, and you can know it. So in the same way, we compare with the real estate example कि $2 million का house है, लेकिन 2000 में बनता है. It is being offered in $2000 only. Two things will happen. First thing, a person, कोई बंदा होगा, he will not even believe. That people will not have श्रद्धा. ऐसा possible ही नहीं है. 2 million का घर है, 2000 में कैसे मिल सकता है? Possible ही नहीं है. People will not believe, and that is what happening with people. It's something very high, and performing the devotional service, people don't have faith in. मैं थोड़ा इधर temple hall cleaning कर दूंगा, prasadam hall I will do a mop. How can mopping the prasadam hall, cleaning the floor will give me the topmost perfection? 2000 देने से मुझे 2 million का घर कैसे मिल सकता है? So people will not have faith, and that's why many people don't have faith in the problem with us is faith only. If we have full faith, we will have full understanding of the Lord. But the faith is not there because something very simple. I told the other day, maybe in the class or somewhere, giving 3 drops of water to Tulsi Maharani will help us to यानी कानी चपा पानी ब्रह्म हत्यादि कानी च किलिंग ऑफ ए ब्रह्म बट बाय ऑफरिंग 3 ड्रॉप्स. अभी कैलकुलेशन कहाँ पे है? 3 ड्रॉप पानी का डाला एंड आवर सिंफुल रिएक्शंस आर ऑल गॉन. what is where is the calculation? So in the same way, $2000 का मिल रहा है घर, which is $2 million. First of all, people will not believe, and second, some people will complain. Who will complain? The people who do not have any bank balance, homeless people, they have no bank balance. वो बोलेंगे अरे $2000 भी बहुत ज्यादा है. How can I afford $2000? Yes, it's nice mention, everything is good, but 2000 is too much. I don't have that much money. You are asking too much. In the same way, people who do not have bhakti inclination in the heart, for them, they will also complain. यहाँ पे बोल रहे हैं कि साधु संग नाम कीर्तन, devotee, come once in a week to the temple, 16 rounds you chant. नाम कीर्तन, भगवान के कीर्तन में participate करो, थोड़ा सेवा करो. But people who don't have any bank balance, they will complain. अरे ये तो बहुत ज्यादा है. Just like the person will complain, $2000 भी बहुत ज्यादा है, $2 million के mention के लिए. In the same way, people who achieve the perfection of the life, achieve the understanding of Lord Shri Krishna by performing slight performance of these 5 angas, but people who do not have an inclination balance, they will complain. 16 राउंड भी बहुत ज्यादा है, मेरे से नहीं होता. रोज रोज पढ़ना भागवतम मेरे से नहीं होगा. मंदिर आना once in a week, I can't do it. So these people will complain. So you can understand by this. So what to do? Should I start new one? No. I don't want to rush. Does it making sense to you? Notice how Prabhupada is connecting, such a beautiful. I don't want to skip Prabhupada purpose. It's not fair. Prabhupada raat bhar jaag ke rahe. I don't want. And you see, Prabhupada is writing one by one, connecting Bhagavad Gita verses into the purport. And Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhaktya Mami Janadi, Yavan Yachasmi Tattva, Rajvidya Rajguyam, Pavitra Midamuttam, Manushya Nam Sahasreshu, Kashyadiyati Siddhaye, and then this Sadhu Sangha Nam Kirtan Bhagavatam, all these verses just by one line. Brahmaji want to know about Lord. Lord Krishna said, you can know only by devotional service. And then all this, it is connected by our practical application. स्लाइट परफॉर्मेंस. ऐसा नहीं है कि सब कुछ छोड़ के धाम में मथुरावास करना है. ऐसा नहीं है कि पूरा दिन सतत कीर्तयन्तम करना है. ऐसा नहीं है कि हमको सब कुछ छोड़ के साधु संग ही करना है. Even while performing our daily duties, routines, activities, responsibilities, we can still achieve the highest perfection in life, which is about the understanding of Lord, knowledge about the Lord, which is most confidential, but we can achieve that by performing of devotional service. So, dear devotees, the practical application from this verse is our Bhagavatam study also will not help us achieve the complete understanding of Lord. When we are doing this Bhagavatam study in the association of devotees, which is accompanied by devotional service, then only it will achieve our Gyan ka Vigyan tabhi hoga. Then only it will become a realized knowledge. So, I want all of you to reflect today that what devotional service am I doing at least once a week, and which has to be direct service for the Lord. There are so many nearby centers, temples, hall programs, Bhakti Vriksha programs, and some wherever we can, if possible, once in a week, once in 15 days, some kind of service directly for the Lord. Yes, we do at the home. हम जो भी भोग बनाते हैं भगवान को लगाते हैं, घर पे आरती भी करते होंगे, फ्लावर लाके भी रखते होंगे, बट सम significant direct service to the lordship which is अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम we offer to the Lord. हम पिज्जा भोग लगाते हैं क्योंकि हमको पिज्जा खाना है, we offer because we want, but this अन्य अभिलाषिता शून्यम सिर्फ आपके लिए भगवान. So many people are doing like Shiva Prabhu is doing here recording seva, सुबह सुबह उठ के मीटिंग स्टार्ट करके recording regularly almost 1 year. It's not easy. Radhika Mataji writing summaries, it's not easy, it takes time. Anya Abhilashita Sunya. Simran Mataji is there, she's writing a book of all this, compiling Radhika Mataji's summary and making it like a proper book in Canto 1, Canto 2. Puja Mataji also did. So many people are doing. But if you I can request you all, write me personally, WhatsApp, click on the message and write, "Ki this is what I am doing, this is what my seva is, which is Anya Abhilashita Sunyam, only for the pleasure of the Lord." Because that will help us to achieve the understanding of the Lord. So think about it, reflect it. If you are not doing, start something, whatever it could be, and then you will see the difference in our Bhagavatam. The realization of Bhagavatam knowledge will come. Until now, without service, it will be only theoretical knowledge. Lord Shri Krishna is himself telling this to Brahmaji. Okay, I will stop here, dear devotees. Open to any comments or reflections. We'll do next verse tomorrow. कोई बात नहीं. Puja Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. It's a very open-ended question, Prabhu. So I don't know if it's relevant, but how do these elevated Srila Prabhupada's devotees who've become at a very quick or young age become sadhus? So what is it that it takes for them to just so quickly? Because personally, I have been doing Bhakti Vriksha and being a devotee from so long, but it's just so hard for me to imagine to be reaching that stage of being a sadhu. So how did their journey just so fast they became sadhus?
I went to Brisbane, where there was a 50th anniversary celebration of Brisbane Temple, and I met one Mataji, Rukmini Mataji. She was 16 years old, 16-year-old, saying Arya is 17, for example. And she said in Cairns, she was in Cairns, and she saw the devotees chanting Harinam on the street, and she got attracted. And within 6 days, she saw them by Friday. By next weekend, she has moved into the temple. सब कुछ छोड़ दिया, parents, school, education, everything, and she moved into the temple, and the whole team of those devotees doing Harinam, they were moving to Brisbane. So she said, "Okay, I am coming to Brisbane with all of you." And ऐसा एक नहीं, I have thousands. Madhu Manjari Mata ji अपने temple, Melbourne temple में, go and speak to her sometime. Mata ji, can you please tell your story? Your hairs will be standing, you will have tears in your eyes. Madhu Manjari Mata, they are so pure devotees. Suddenly they leave everything. अपना once in a week coming to temple, we find it difficult. Here people leave everything and move into the temple. And same with Prabhupada disciples. What we practice for 25 साल तक हम आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते, वो 4-5 दिन में आगे बढ़ जाते हैं. Tamal Krishna Maharaj, if you see, he came to the temple on the 3rd day, he was giving Bhagavatam class. पहली बार अभी तो मंदिर में आया है भक्तों के संग में, एंड देन 3rd day he is giving भागवतम क्लास इन द टेम्पल. अभी हमको बोलेंगे, मुझे आफ्टर स्पीकिंग एवरी डे, स्पीकिंग अबाउट भागवतम इन द टेम्पल, आई स्टार्ट fearful. मैं नहीं बोल सकता, मैं नहीं कर सकता, आई एम fearful already thinking about it. But when Prabhupada devotees, when Prabhupada went to America, they are fatafat taking sannyas and becoming pure devotee, taking Brahman initiation, performing arti, leaving everything. And ऐसा नहीं है कि these people were homeless or they had nothing. They are the son of billionaires. Giriraj Maharaj, Jayapataka Maharaj, son of billionaires, the only son. And this father used to come, leave my child, I will give you a blank check. You can write उस जमाने में $1 million, $10 million you take for your movement, you make more temples, but मेरे son को निकाल दो. But the Prabhupada said, here is your son, you ask him. And the son said, no, I don't want to come to all this corporate and I don't want to come home. I am happy with serving the lotus feet of my spiritual master. Why is that? So some devotees one day they asked Prabhupada, we have become so pure devotees, we have advanced so much. Does that mean we had the Sukruti in our previous life? We have performed the bhakti and we have left it half the way. Is that why we are able to continue right now with your mercy? Prabhupada said, forget it, you had no Sukruti. I have created your Sukruti. And this is the purity of Srila Prabhupada, that by Sadhu Sangha, the first step of this, Sadhu Sangha, by the association of a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, his mercy, his potency, like a Chintamani stone, touchstone. जहां पे भी touch करता है वो it will become a gold. So in the same way, Prabhupada, whoever, like a touchstone, whoever he met, whoever he gave his time, they were all becoming devotees one after another fast. So answering your question, is it by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, by the pure potency of Srila Prabhupada, wherever he goes, and same potency is available to us also. Prabhupada personally was associating with them, but what he was doing? He was giving the knowledge. We are reading Prabhupada's books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, they are Prabhupada purports. So if you imagine while reading a purport that you are sitting next to Prabhupada and Prabhupada is speaking this purport to you on one-on-one basis in a sacred room in front, wherever you are, he is sitting in front of us and he is speaking. The same potency we also have access to. The same potency what the people who have personally associated with Prabhupada. I remember one story. One Maharaj, he never met or talked with Prabhupada. Prabhupada disciple. Prabhupada, when he was old, he used to send the chanting bits and as a initiation lete the. So one Maharaj, he never met Prabhupada personally or never interacted or talked. And after 50 years, Prabhupada has left 1977. This is 2027 will come now. After 50 years, one devotee asked that Maharaj, do you miss Srila Prabhupada? Are you missing him? Do you know what was the response of Maharaj? I have never felt separation from Prabhupada. I associate with him every single day by reading his books. I am with Prabhupada. I feel the presence of Prabhupada all the time with me. So I don't miss him. And the same thing, Prabhupada also said for his Guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada said, my Guru is always with me, with his instructions, with his blessings, he is always with me. So we also have same power, same blessings. What those people you are mentioning that had the chance to purify fast, we also have. But it just takes Shraddha. Shraddha, faith on the scriptures, faith on the Guru as well. Is that okay?
Yes, thank you, Prabhu.
Aruni Mataji, you raised hand and then we will stop. Oh, Sneha
Hare
Mataji will stop.
Prabhuji, Danvat Pranam. My question is, are women allowed to move into the temple? You mentioned two women, a 16-year-old and somebody else. Can they move into the temple?
Depends on time, place, circumstances. In Melbourne, there are many. There is Brahmachari ashram, there is Brahmacharini ashram. That is a men's ashram where all the people with the Brahmacharis, orange people live. And in the temple, Melbourne, where we are, on one side is Brahmachari, on the other side is Brahmacharini ashram as well. Our temple president himself, Anirudh Prabhu of Melbourne, he was in the Brahmachari ashram and Mataji was in Brahmacharini ashram. So that's how, yes, human, depending on, of course, time, place, and circumstances, it is allowed.
I see. And also, Prabhupada, his father encouraged him, right? He wanted Prabhupada to be in this spirituality. And I think he even, I think it was Prabhupada where there was a beautiful girl, but the father said, don't marry the beautiful girl because she'll be a hindrance to your spiritual growth. Is that true?
There is a story, Prabhupada. Mataji, I would highly recommend you to read Leelamrita books. And if you can understand Hindi, there is a series of this lecture as well, where Prabhupada's early life is being mentioned in details. So what happened, Prabhupada's Father Gaur Mohan De, pure devotee, he trained, he had the vision of Srila Prabhupada, learning Mridanga, doing all these programs. He helped Prabhupada to arrange a Rath Yatra, have his own Radha Krishna deities where he was a child. So, yes, his father was a pure devotee. When the time to come getting married, this girl, the parents show in olden days, that's how it, not like today's world where boy and girl go out and chooses themselves. In olden days, the parents find the girl. So when they found this girl, Prabhupada said, I don't like this girl. She's not very beautiful. I don't like. And the father said that this is very good. In the later part of the life, when you want to detach yourself for all the worldly things, this will help you. And his father said at that time, before marriage or just after marriage, I don't know exactly. Do you know, Puja Mataji, was it before marriage or after marriage?
It was after marriage, Prabhu.
After marriage.
It was after the marriage, and because he was not happy with the first wife, he wanted to have a second wife. That's when his father said, I think from memory.
That's
Yes.
correct, Prabhu. Yes.
What his father said, it will help you to detach. And after many, many years, few decades, when this Prabhupada's manifest Leela of the Jagat Guru, when he wanted to manifest this, the whole world revolution of this Hare Krishna movement, that line of his father, Prabhupada accepted, and it helped him that, he was able to detach wife. If you see the movie, the Acharya, his son says, एक दिन पापा ऐसे ही निकल गए घर से. How many of us can think like that? Just walk out of the door. Because of this detachment, what his father has given, Gaur Mohan De has given the training to Srila Prabhupada, he was able to just walk out, lived in Chippivada temple, then lived in Vrindavan, Radha Damodar temple, and then from there took the Jaladuta, the cargo ship, went to America and started this worldwide revolution. Beautiful stories, pastimes of Prabhupada. His Leela is mentioned in Leelamrita. There are many videos as well. Yeah, please watch. Chalo, we'll stop
Yeah.
here. Sneha
Thank
Mataji,
you,
is there?
Prabhuji.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So you just mentioned Prabhu, like Prabhupada said, like hippies, they don't have any Sukriti. But Prabhu, I know we say like Prabhupada wasn't succeed in India, but like even in India, some devotees were there. And even in America, like whoever met Prabhupada, most of them were like even in devotional service, but some of them left the path. So how to understand Prabhu, like though they not have Sukriti because of the association of the great devotee, they started this devotional journey, but is it also like their free will come into the picture? I mean, my question is like, why not everyone who met Prabhupada was succeeded?
Like a touchstone. When you do the touchstone, the metal becomes gold. But if that metal is fully rusted, you can't even, because of that cleansing, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, if there is a mirror, I stand in front of my mirror, I can see. But if that mirror is covered with dust, we can't see. So why some people standing in mirror can see and the other mirror cannot see the reflection? Because of there is a dust. In the same way, the touchstone, if it's rusty, or if another example is given is like a grass. If you try to light up the dry grass, it will burn like a fire very quickly. But if it's a wet grass, if it's full of water, then you try to burn, it will not light up. In the same way, people who have so much material desires, people who have still the inclination to enjoy, even though Prabhupada's like a touchstone he is touching, even though like a fire of bhakti is coming to them, but because they are wet, they would not take it. So it's not a straightforward formula. It's a combination of free will, combination of Sukriti, generally speaking, all around the world. When Prabhupada gave this answer, it could be to the limited 4 or 5 people in that group or that particular city or something. But generally, for our understanding, all around the world, it can be free will, our own previous Sukriti, our own faith. There is so many factors that come into the process. But all that can be cleared if someone does this devotional service. Okay.
Yeah, it's so clear. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Granthrat Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you.